The laboratory smelled of antiseptic and steel. It was late in the night shift when Corporal Daniel Hayes, one of the few human soldiers stationed on the Joint Terran-Zerthai outpost, was ordered to deliver a crate of classified supplies to the medical wing. The crate wasn't large, but it was heavily guarded by warnings. Caution, experimental serum, human use only. Daniel didn't ask questions. He was military. Orders were orders. But in the sterile light of the med bay, something unexpected awaited him. The alien girl. Her name was Vera, a Zerthai scout who had barely survived an ambush on the frontier. When Daniel first saw her lie on a recovery bed, he thought she looked too fragile to be a soldier, translucent skin shimmering faintly, eyes like liquid amethyst, breathing shallow but steady. She was curious, despite her wounds. "Human soldier," she rasped, lifting her gaze to him. "What is it you carry?" Daniel gave a tired half-smile. "Medicine. Not for you. Dangerous stuff." But curiosity was not something a Zerthai ever suppressed. They lived on curiosity. They hungered for experience the way humans hungered for air. And when Daniel stepped aside to check a manifest, she reached for the small vial set aside on a tray, its glowing blue fluid pulsing faintly like liquid lightning. The accident. "Wait!" Daniel shouted as she tilted it toward her lips. But it was too late. The serum slid down her throat. Her body jolted as though struck by thunder. The vial clattered from her hands. For a moment, she went perfectly still. Then her pulse quickened so hard that monitors began to scream. Daniel grabbed her shoulders. "Damn it, that wasn't for you." Her breath hitched. Her eyes widened, glowing brighter than before. Heat radiated from her skin, waves of energy pulsing outward as though her very body was caught in a storm. What is this?" she gasped, her voice trembling, alien syllables breaking into human tongue. "My heart, my mind, it burns." Daniel's training told him to call the medics, but something stopped him. The way her trembling hand clutched his arm, not in fear but in need, froze him in place. The serum's purpose. The serum had been designed for one thing, to unlock primal drive in human soldiers, overriding exhaustion, pain, and hesitation. It was raw military science, a weapon to make men unstoppable in battle. On a human, it meant aggression, power. On a Zerthai, nobody had ever tested. And now, the result was undeniable. The serum's chemistry was twisting through her alien biology, not into violence, but into a surge of overwhelming physical yearning. Her voice trembled, urgent, almost pleading. "Why do I feel this hunger? Why do my veins scream when you are near?" Daniel's mouth went dry. He'd seen soldiers enraged by the serum, fists punching steel until bones shattered. But this was different. Her every look, every word, was pulled magnetically toward him. The struggle. He tried to steady her. "Vera, listen. You've been poisoned. It's messing with your body. You need to fight it." She shook her head violently, gripping his chest plate. "No, it isn't poison. It's life. My body sings when I look at you. My pulse only calms when you're close." Her glowing eyes locked on his, and Daniel felt his composure cracking. He was human. She was alien. This was wrong. Military protocol, biological incompatibility, cultural boundaries. Everything told him to push her away. But then he remembered her scars, the way she had nearly died, abandoned by her own squad in the frontier ambush. She had told him earlier, in a whisper when she thought he wasn't listening, "I wasn't strong enough. They left me." And now, she clung to him as though the universe itself would tear her apart if he let go. The breaking point. Hours passed in a haze. He stayed by her side, cooling her fever with wet cloths, holding her trembling hands when the serum's waves grew too strong. Each time he pulled back, her body reacted violently, monitors spiking, breath breaking. Each time he touched her again, she calmed, her body adjusting as if his presence was the only antidote. By dawn, Daniel understood. It wasn't simply chemical. The serum had awakened something deeper in her species, an instinct that resonated with human closeness. It was as if her body had been rewired to seek him, specifically him, as though their biologies had found a bridge neither science nor war had predicted. And as she whispered his name for the first time, awkward, heavy on her alien tongue, he realized he was no longer her guard or caretaker or her soldier. He was her anchor, the choice. When the doctors arrived, alarms blaring over her readings, they demanded she be sedated and restrained. She's unstable, contaminated. She could become a threat. Daniel stood between them and her. "No," he said, his voice steady, sharper than he expected. "She doesn't need a cage. She needs control, and she's finding it." The doctors protested, but the alien girl's hand slid into his, trembling but firm. Her gaze, glowing and vulnerable, met his as though pleading with him to believe. And for the first time in years of military service, Daniel broke protocol. "Record what you want," he told the medics, "but she stays with me." Epilogue. In the weeks that followed, Vera recovered. The serum's violent fire dimmed, though traces of it lingered. A hunger that sometimes surfaced in her eyes, a warmth that grew whenever Daniel was near. She often asked him, in quiet moments, "Do you regret saving me? Do you regret what I became?" And his answer was always the same. "No, because it showed me something our commanders, our scientists, our war could never teach us." He took her hand, her alien fingers curling against his human ones. That humanity isn't about strength or weapons or domination. It's about connection, even when it shouldn't exist. And in that fragile bond between a human janitor soldier and a reborn alien scout, the universe shifted once again.